Hello friends, this is Dr. Amarjeet Kaur, Professor of Accounting and Business Communication at the Department of Management, Gurugram University, Gurugram. This is my privilege that I am here with you to talk about time value of money discounting. So it means today we are going to talk about only one aspect of time value of money, which is discounting, because in the past lectures we have already covered compounding. So friends, uh, you must be aware of time value of money, which means the time preference for money. So time value of money is a very important tool in the area of financial management. In fact, the whole financial management, its principles, practices, everything is just based on time value money, risk and return evaluation. So time value money and risk and return evaluation or assessment, they are primarily based on time value of money. So what do we mean by time value of money? Time value of money is actually known or can be taken as time preference for money. The main reason that for the time preference is what? The main reason for the time preference is that we may use that money which comes back to us early in available investment opportunities, right? So we can reinvest the funds if they are in our hand. So that's why we would always prefer to have funds in our hand. They must be received as early as possible, because that increases your liquidity. So you become confident that you have some money in hand or bank, and also then you can plan to reinvest them. So that is why everybody prefers to get the dues as early as possible, and that's what we call it as time preference for money. In other words, a rupee received today is more valuable than a rupee received tomorrow. The simplest way, or the another way to understand is, one bird in hand is better than two on the bushes. So it's better to have money in hand. That's what the concept is all about. So in the time value of money, we have two techniques: compounding and discounting. Compounding is when we know the present value, when we know that I have X amount in my hand today and how much I will get after 1 year, after 2 years, after 5 or 10 years if I invest at X rate, right? So means I know the present value, I know the value of the money I have in my hand, and how much it will convert will depend on two things: the time and the interest rate I can gather or I can get for that investment. So two factors would decide that how much you will have in future. So compounding is basically knowing the future value when you know the present value, and discounting is exactly inverse to it. So discounting is a situation when we have the future value known to us, and I want to know how much should I put today in the bank, which means what? Let's take some example. Let's say if you are a student of a graduation program, you want to do master's program overseas, and it will require about 20 lakhs rupees or 40 lakhs rupees. So next year only you have to apply for your master's program, or maybe 2 years from now you have to apply for master's program, and that is when you would need some good money, right? 20 lakhs. So you need to know that after 2 years from now I need 20 lakhs Indian rupees. How much should I put in the bank today when bank is paying 8% rate of interest, right? So you know the future value, but you do not know how much to be put today. So then we discount that 20 lakhs which is required in future, and we will come to the money which must be put, so that it accumulates to 20 lakhs after 2 years from now. So that's what discounting is, means knowing the present value from the future. So future value is known, present value is unknown, and we are discounting it with the help of discount factor or discount rate, and that's what is discounting. So both techniques are used in time value of money. So, the concept of present value is the exact opposite to the compound value. That is what you must have gathered from the example itself. And in this present value approach, money is received at some future date and will be worth less because the corresponding interest is lost during the period. You are going to lose interest for sure. Had you been investing today in the bank, you are earning some interest. So that is what the discounting concept is. So, on the timeline, the beginning point is present value and the ending point is future value. So, they both are extremely inverse situations, or you may call it as present value and future value, both are two sides of the same coin, because if you know the present value and you compound it, so it will be future value, and the same future value if you discount, you will reach to the exact same present value. So the answer would be same to find out present value from the future or future value from the present. So there are many practical application of time value of money. The most important is then when we have to retire debentures, when we have to pay off for any loan, term loan, etc., right. So if I have to retire debentures 5 years from now, they are going to get mature. So business need to know that how much every year, every month I need to accumulate from the recurring income, right. So that's what that would be the first and foremost application to pay off any kind of loan, right. So that is the most important thing, that debentures, bonds, when they are paid in future, and we need to accumulate from the beginning. And there are many such debentures or bonds where the underwriter would want you to undertake to actually put up a sinking fund. So in the sinking fund, we have to deposit, we have to keep depositing every month or every year a certain amount, so that it accumulates to the the amount payable at the end of term of debenture, which could be any year, 5 year, 10 year, etc., right. And then if you want to replace some fixed asset, so we need to, as a business, any fixed asset, any plant, any machinery, I need to accumulate money to replace them. And it's almost the same thing that I would need, let's say I want to replace my car 10 years from now. So I need to plan it from today itself, so that I have the amount expected to be invested at that time in the asset known as car, right, or building or house. You may have seen your parents accumulating, at a certain rate, so that they have accumulated enough money for your wedding, for your education, for your schooling, for your even house, etc., etc. So this is that the concept which is used is time value of money especially. Then when we want to know exactly how much would be the size of a single payment to reimburse any loan, so the amount of installment to be paid. So if you have taken any loan for your car, for your scooter, for house even, you are paying monthly installments or monthly we say it now, monthly installment is there. I have an obligation to pay for house, my house is on loan, my car is on loan. So actually what we are doing, whatever we have borrowed from bank or from any other institution, we are repaying that money along with the interest, right. So annual payment including the interest to actually fully pay the loan after few years. So we know that how much amount is to be paid. By calculating, we exactly calculate how much would be the amount of installment with the help of time value of money. And we can also know the rate which the business is keeping up as a growth rate, for its share value, share price in the market, or the growth rate of the business itself, growth rate of any such be it income, be it revenue, be it sales. So we can find out the growth rate as well. So, this was in generic what the time value money concept is. We talked about timeline as well. Now, for discounting purposes, there are 4 different situations which arises. We deal with it. The first thing, annual discounting of single sum. The second is discounting of uneven cash flows. The third situation is discounting of annuity, and the fourth and the last situation is discounting of a perpetuity. So, the first situation is annual discounting of single sum, which means the investment or the amount involved is paid or received only once. So, it means with my statement, with the statement I made, you are clear that discounting can be used both for investment and for receiving. So, it is inflow and outflow both situations. So, is the compounding, right. So, the sum which is invested or received is only once and annual, and we are compounding or discounting it once. So, that is an annual discounting or compounding situation. We are targeting, we are focusing on only discounting part today. So, annual discounting of single payment. I am going to take up some example to help you understand how it works. So, as per this small caselet, Mr. Manoj has been given an opportunity to receive rupees 1060 1 year from now, and he knows that he can earn 6% interest on his investment. The question is, what amount will he be spending to invest for this opportunity? So, what is known here for Mr. Manoj? The known amount is that I need 1060. Now, this 1060 could be in crores for a company, right, or it could be simply rupees, or it could be dollars. So, irrespective the denomination or the currency. So, Mr. Manoj requires 1060 1 year from today. And what is the question? That we know that bank is paying 6% interest. So, the question is, how much should Mr. Manoj put in bank today, so that he has 1060, the desired amount, in his hand 1 year from now. So, here we have 2 approaches to solve the situation by discounting. As I said, discounting is exactly inverse. In compounding, we do 1 plus I raised to power n, right? That was compounding, if you remember, or 1 plus r, even rate of interest, raised to power n. N is number of years. So, the discounting is exactly inverse. So, here in discounting, it would be 1 divided by 1 plus r raised to power n. So, in this particular given situation, if we have to solve it, the one is that P, we take the principal, the present value, the principal money, into 1 plus the rate of interest 0.066%. So, which will give you the answer 1060. So, that is what the first one is, the compounding, that if I compound x amount P is 100, so it will become at the rate of 6, it will become 106, but discounting is inverse. So, here because we know the future value 1060 is known to us. So, the same equation, instead of compounding, we inverse the equation. So, it will be 1 divided by 1 plus r raised to power n. So, because my present value would be the future value is what? 1060. So, the equation is future value for given n divided by 1 plus I raised to power n. Here the n is 1 only, right. So, 1 plus I is 0.06. So, 1 plus I becomes 1.06. Okay. So, the present value will be 1060, which is the future value, divided by 1.06. Now, this gives you answer of 1000, right. So, it is both way. So, if you compound 1000 rupees, you will get 1060, the compounded value at the rate 6% after 1 year. And the same thing, if you discount 1060, for 1 year for 6%, you will get 1000 today. So, that is why we call they both are on the same timeline, right. Present value and the future value are on the same timeline. Okay. So, they are actually inverse to each other. If we know the one, we can reach out to the other. So, we have the option. So in this question, in this example, what did we do? We solved the equation 1 plus I raised to power n for compounding and 1 divided by 1 plus I raised to power n for discounting. But we can do with, no, this was only 1 year and the rate of interest was very simple. But it could be that investment is for 20 years, investment rate of interest is 12% and so on. Then calculating like this with this equation would be little difficult, right? So we can actually do two things in this situation. One is that we solve this equation, and the second is that, which would be tedious task. The second is that we actually use time value tables. Now what are those time value tables? The time value tables, they give us the present value interest factor PVIF, that's what we call it as, for various discount rates and years, right. So since this factor in the table gives us the present value of 1 rupee for various combination of I and N. I is the rate of interest and N is the number of year. So we can find the present value of the future lump sum by multiplying it with the appropriate present value interest factor from the table, right. I hope you are getting me. So one option is to solve it, as we just referred to the previous example or the caselet of Mr. Manoj. So one is to solve that equation 1 divided by 1 plus r raised to power n. The other is just to make it simple. We have calculated, already tested tables for discounting, for compounding, everything. So we use 1 rupee table, like if I discount 1 rupee on, for these many years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever the number of years, what would be the factor? So the table gives us present value interest factor. So here what we do, so present value is equal to what? The amount A, the last line, if you refer to the slide of the last line, A is the amount, right, into present value interest factor. It could be future value. Instead of A, in couple of, so in literature, we have another option of future value, FV is also used. So present value is used or is equal to future value multiplied by present value interest factor. So that would be an easy way. Now same example, if I take, Mr. Manoj example. So if we assume that Mr. Manoj wants to put the same money, which is or the different money, let's take 2000 now, but he wants to put it for 2 years, right, or 5 years, or so you can assume any number of year, and the bank is giving 10%. So in this example, which is in front of you, we have assumed that Mr. Manoj wants to put 2000 rupees and want to see, so he want to receive 2000 rupees after 5 years from now, and he knows that bank is paying 10% interest. So what I know what I need in future. So I need 2000 in future. Okay. So I have to discount it, as Mr. Manoj has to discount it. So one is to solve the equation, another is to go to the table, which we generally call table number 3. Generally most of the books or literature would have table number 3 for 1 rupee discount table, annual discounting of 1 rupee. So the factor we get for 5 years, so n would be 5 and I, the row, we have to see the row and the column both. So the columns are showing rate of interest, right, and the rows are showing n in any table. If you check it right away, all the tables are available online at any platform, or otherwise every book on financial management would have those tables. So we have to check the row and the column both, and then the corresponding factor wherever, So if here in this example we are assuming 5 years, so n would be 5, and so the row you should be referring number, so where it is says 5, and the column you should be referring to 10.1, right, 10% means 0.10. So the factor which you will get is 0.621. So this factor is at 10% and for 5 years. So if we multiply this factor simply, the answer would be 1242. So this, it means that Mr. Manoj needs to put 1242 today in the bank at the rate of 10% interest, and he will be able to accumulate 2000 5 years from now, right? So you can, this is such an important technique. You can plan, you can actually use it in daily life for every investment purpose. Everyone, every single person on the earth should be well versed with time value of money, be it compounding, be it discounting, because it's being used everywhere. Every business, every individual, if you are not a businessman, even then, if you are not working for some, even if you are a farmer, if you are a shopkeeper, you need to know this exactly. People will not befool you who come and tell you this much is interest is given on your investment. You can actually calculate with the help of the factor very easily that actually how much is the compound value, how much is the discount value of the investment we are talking, right? So ultimately, after this with the help of this example, so we take another business example, and with the help of formula. So if a bond will pay 100 in 2 years, what is the present value of rupees 100 if an investor can earn a return of 12% on investment? So you have a formula in front of you. Present value is equal to what? Future value divided by 1 plus I or 1 plus r raised to power n. So future value divided by 1 plus I raised to power n. The factor is 1 divided by 1 plus I raised to power n. So we take future value out of the formula. When we have to use factor, we put future value multiplied by the factor, right? So the equation would be rewritten here. So, but otherwise, if you have to solve the equation, this is the equation in front of you. So so answer for this would be, there are two ways, as I said. One is you take the future value 100 and you put the equation 1 plus rate of interest I or r is 12%, so 0.12 raised to power n, n is 2 years. So you will get the answer 79.72. This is when you solve the equation. The same thing can be actually solved by using the present value factor from the table. There you will multiply 100 with the factor, which would be 0.7972, right. So if you multiply the factor from the table with the future value, which is 100, you will get the same answer. So your choice. I have made you learn both the techniques or the tricks to solve it. So see, we can now verify that how present and compound value both come from the same timeline. So the beginning value today, if I have 79.72 paisa in my hand today, the interest is 12%. After 1 year I will have $89.29 or rupees. So 89.29 becomes the beginning balance of the second year. So you will get 12% again, the interest on 89.29. So the interest would be 10.71 and the ending balance would be 100. So you discount 100 rupees and you will get 79.79 today, or you compound 79.72 rupees and you will get 100 after 2 years, right. So it is basically the same equation. So 79.72 put in the bank today and earns 12%, it will be worth 100 after 2 years. So that is the verification that present value and the compound value are the inverse to each other. They both are inverse to each other and they are actually two parts of the same coin. So here take this one more example, that how much would you have to put in the bank today to have $100 at the end of 5 years if the interest is 10%. Now you think of solving this equation, this situation both ways. So what is the situation? Situation is that how much would you have to put in bank today? So I need $100, 100,000, 100 crores, anything. So I need 100 crores 5 years from now. So it means I should have those 100 rupees 5 years from now. how much should I put today? And you know the interest rate, that current interest rate is 10%. So what will you do? You will go to the present value table, that is one choice, and in the present value table you will look for the column number. Which column number? Any idea? The column number should be indicating the year. So 5, and column should be indicating the interest 10%, and your row will be indicating the year 5. So you will cross, you will hit the point where the both column and the row, they are they are interacting with each other, they are crossing each other, and that is the point which gives you the factor known as present value interest factor. So at 10%, the present value interest factor is 0.621. So for year 5 and interest 10%, so the column 10 and row 5, that gives you the factor 0.620, and you multiply this 0.621 with the 100 rupees, which is the future value known to you. So future value multiplied by the present value interest factor. So the answer comes in 62.10. It means A is correct. So with this, I would like to now wind up, friends. I hope you are able to understand that how do we discount future value to know the present value. We have taken only first situation where we have single investment which is discounted annually, and we have learned both the formula, the equation, as well as using the present value interest factor table. And with the help of 2-3 different examples, we have learned this technique of discounting. There are 3 more situations of discounting which we shall be addressing very soon. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much.